Hello, and welcome to everybody who joins us for our weekly time of devotion together. Our Advent season continues, and today we read from the book of John, chapter 15, verses 9, and talk about how love brings the season together. In the Gospel of John, we read, "As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love." Christmas time is here. It's hard to believe that the month of December is almost halfway gone and the day of Christmas is just around the corner. If you need any further reminder of this, just turn on your television. I'm sure that when you look at the TV guide, almost every other channel will have a Christmas movie, a Christmas special. Even the shows that we watch on a regular basis, whether it's Law and Order or Friends or Last Man Standing, whatever brings you joy in the evening as you watch TV, somehow they all seem to bring the Christmas season into their storyline at this time of year. For some of us, Christmas doesn't feel right, doesn't feel like it's here until we get to watch that special movie, that special show on TV. For a very special someone in my life, that movie is The Polar Express. Christmas season hasn't really started until we've watched it from start to finish. For myself, that special movie is Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. This Disney classic brings together 3 short movies, and in it we find characters who don't normally agree or find much together. Some might even call them natural enemies. Somehow, by the end of each episode, they've put aside their differences and found a way to come together for the season. The season of Christmas is all about gifts. In the very first passages about the Christmas story, we find Jesus being born in the manger in Bethlehem with only Joseph and Mary nearby. Shortly after, the wise men come from the east, and here comes the first gift of Christmas. We see the wise men bringing gold and frankincense and myrrh. And naturally we think that these must be the first gifts, but in reality it's the wise men themselves. The scriptures teach us that they came from far in the east, traveling for days and nights. And they weren't Christian. Christianity didn't exist yet. And they weren't Jewish either. In fact, the scriptures doesn't say what exactly their religion was, just that they came from far away. And this coming together of different people, of different beliefs, this togetherness is the first gift of Christmas. The sense of love for one another. Even before Jesus was born, this love was afoot. John 3:16 tells us, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, so that everyone who believes in him may not perish but have eternal life." The very reason Jesus came to us was because of love. The very reason we exist is because of love. In the days of creation, God brought all of existence from nothingness out of love. Love for what would come, love for us eventually. Throughout his time in ministry, Jesus often taught about love. Love for your neighbors, love for the strangers you meet on the streets, love for your enemies even. And sometimes we confuse this love with the emotional bond that we have with special ones in our lives. For Jesus and many of the people at the time, love wasn't always about an emotional connection. Most of the time it was about a sense of honor, of respect, of giving dignity to one another. As Christmas approaches, traditionally families gathering for opening of presents in the morning, of a meal in the evening. Oftentimes, families, because they have so much in common and have spent so much time together, disagreements naturally come up over time. Sometimes these feuds, these arguments go on for years and years, and it's hoped that at Christmas time, they're all put aside in the sake of something greater. Christmas morning, the unwrapping of presents. Each of us who gives a present to another thinks long and hard about what would be special, what would convey the sense of love and friendship that we have for one another. We wrap it up and put it under the tree and hope that Christmas morning will bring the joy that we want to find in their faces. Sometimes we don't always get what we want under the tree. Every year I keep hoping to find keys to a new Porsche, but it hasn't happened yet. But I do know that each present that's picked out for me was picked out for a special reason. For the love and the friendship, the camaraderie that we share through our lives. Even these videos we put out are a gift in a way. They're not Christmas gifts, but they are a gift. They may not always be met with the intent that we desired. Sometimes they're met with harsh words, criticism, questions of why we bother doing it. Some of them are even ignored, never watched. But we keep doing it because we know that if somebody gets something out of it, even just one person, it makes it all worthwhile. We put out a message of love and togetherness, and we hope that somebody receives it. As Christmas fast approaches, this year we're going to find something different on the 25th of December. I'm sure that our Christmas celebrations will be smaller and quieter than they normally would have been. We all keep to ourselves in this time of pandemic and COVID-19. We have telephones and video conferencing and other ways to get together. And I hope that we all take advantage of it. In this season of love, I wonder, how are we each going to show the love that Jesus calls and teaches us to give? What will we do to bring each other together? Thank you for joining, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a great week.